This is a quick video to help people that want to do their use their xNet glass polishing kit. The instructions are pretty good, but I think practical use instructions will help people a whole bunch. I've seen online, especially on the Amazon website, people complaining about this process not working, and they just rip it and just making all kinds of bad comments about how the system doesn't work. Well, it does work, and it works great. The keys to the operation here are your rough pads to do the initial scratch removal. Have a whole bunch of these pads available. First of all, the green and the blue are the part that go against the Velcro on your disc right there. And this is the part that does the work here, and they represent different grits or polishing compound. No, let's see, polishing grits, yeah. Anyway, what you want to do is have a whole bunch of these. These things are going to get used up real quick, so have a whole bunch of these to cut your initial scratch out and get it removed. So use these frequently, change them frequently, use a whole bunch of them, and because you're not going to do any good by saving them for the future, use them, and they will cut the scratch in your glass. I had a vertical scratch right here, and they'll cut the heck out of that glass, and you'll be surprised. And you can use them dry, you can use them wet. I have a spritzer right here. You can I don't know that there's a big difference either way. The important thing is that once you start the process, you're actually going to get fine particles of glass like that coming off, and that's the result of my scratching. I mean, of my using the blue and the green. Anyway, also really important is the polishing. And what they show you to use to do on the polishing is to put some polish on your pad here, swirl it around until it dries, turns to a powder, and kind of goes away, and then you can wipe it off and see what's going on. Well, I kept doing that, and what I ended up with was a huge amount of polish stuck to this pad, and it was just built up to where it was real thick. And I thought, well, that's ridiculous. That's good polish right there. And so what I figured out is I can keep the polish in solution by using the spritzer here, and as I'm polishing, I just spritz, and it releases the polish from the pad, and it keeps me from wasting polish, but it also makes it to where I've got a real nice slurry. It makes a mess, there's no doubt about it, so have yourself a work area, but it does a great job of creating a slurry that you can keep active and keep polishing, as opposed to polish until it dries and then wipe it off and then start all over again. I just want to keep polishing, and it also helps cool the glass. So this is how it works. And then obviously I'd be using my other hand. I should have gotten a tripod. Anyway, spritz it a little bit. Now, I've been using the same pad and that same polish for about an hour, and yes, it does take time. Glass polishing is not a quick process, but when it first started out, it was seriously thick and pink, and it's taken an hour for me to use up what was on the pad, and but the results are just amazing. So anyone that complains about the process is not using it properly, or is a victim of McDonald's mentality. This is not an instantaneous process. I think I've invested 2 hours maybe or more, but I've also saved an $800 piece of glass. So the system works. Also, the very critical is I think is getting a cheap angle grinder, angle drill, and using it as opposed to a handheld drill that you hold like this and try to keep the pad flat against the surface. I don't think that that will work, but it just tires you out something fierce. And as to holding the pad completely flat, well, that's to try to keep from getting gouges and valleys in there. But for the initial cutting, I did use the edge of the pad and directed exactly where I wanted the cutting to be done. So I think the system works great. It's just a matter of a couple of handy hints, and I hope you have as much success as I've had.